All right, guys, I just got off the lake, and this is now the third time that this has happened. This is not how it's supposed to be. This is the mounting bracket. They come standard with a lot of your transducers. This is a side imaging, down imaging transducer, but you can see here that it's ripped out a couple different times now, actually 3 different times. Every time I hit a stump, log, lay down, things like that, which especially fishing Lake Fork, Lake Ray Roberts, a lot of timber lakes, this happens a lot. Luckily, this is just ripping out of the board and not actually breaking my transducer, but let me show you how we're gonna fix this once and for all. All right, so first of all, here is all that we got in our order from Transducer, Shield, and Saver. First is the armor plate, all right? So what this is for is actually creating some more stability to your transducer, right? So this is gonna go on top. Now, this isn't necessarily the mounting bracket, right? This is just an armor plate that's gonna sit on top. However, we gotta take off this factory bracket first. So we'll use these same screws to then mount this onto the top. Now, once we have that done, we'll be able to mount this entire thing onto the spring back bracket, right here. So this spring back bracket is going to allow it to, imagine this is the back of the boat. If this is my transducer, if something hits it, it's gonna bounce up and fold. All right, so it's gonna be able to spring and then bounce back down, right? So we're gonna install this, and then we've also got a mounting bracket, and where this will go will be right onto not only that spring back bracket, but also go right there as well onto our mounting plate on the back of the boat. So let's get all of this kind of installed and done, and I'll show you the steps and what it looks like along the way. All right, first things first, just with a screwdriver, we removed the 6 screws from our transducer and the original mounting bracket. Now we're gonna put on the armor plate first. It's gonna provide a lot more stability and support for our transducer. It's already got pre-drilled holes. We're just gonna line up right there with those. We'll use those 6 screws. I'll go get 2 more later from the hardware store. And then we'll save that for, I don't know, maybe there might be a buddy later that needs a bracket that we can lend them or just give them. So let's install this now really quickly, just with those screws. All right, here's the completed installment of the armor plate. You can see that it sticks out further on the front, the back, and both sides than your transducer. So it's gonna give you some side-to-side protection and also front-to-back protection, so that if you're ever moving sideways with your boat, turning, reversing, etc., and you hit a stump, which I do all the time, this will protect your transducer. So let's add that spring back bracket now. All right, so I'll stop here in the installation process and show you kind of where we're at. We're pretty much done. We just have to mount it on the boat. But first of all, there's the mounting plate that goes on the back side, right? There's the connection to the armor plate. This was the only real part that I'll just give you guys kind of a quick heads up on. Obviously, this is the bolt that goes kind of through these springs. So you take it out at first, but to put it back in, I started on the right side, slipped it through these 2 springs first, but you'll notice that these springs fit into those notches. So there's a couple of little small notches right there and right there. And then there's 2 little divots, if I can get my camera to focus, on the top, which they're kind of hard to see because the springs are fitting in, but there's 2 divots there and 2 divots there. So the way this works is you've got the springs loaded here. You only need 1 spring though, unless your transducer is 7 inches or longer, which this one is. So therefore I put in 2. So you've got 2 springs that are loaded there. This was a little bit hard to do just because you got some tension that the springs create, but you slide it through 1 spring, then the 2nd spring, then the 3rd spring, then the 4th spring. Now I had to push down pretty hard here while pushing the bolt back in, or the axle, if you will, back across here in order to get it out this side. That was the only part that I would say was quote unquote difficult. Everything else you can pretty much follow right here in the instructions. Trust me, if a guy like me can do it, you can too. This is pretty straightforward. So now we just got to get this mounted onto the back of the boat. I need to go get some shorter screws for that. These are just a little too long, and then we should be done. So I'll give you a look at a review of what that looks like as soon as we get it done. All right, finished product here on the install. Moment of truth here. Come over a stump, you hit it, and your transducer is going to spring up over that stump, not just break off. So there you go. There's the mounting plate onto the mounting board here in my boat. I was able to secure it with 3 on each side, 3 screws. So I feel pretty certain that that's gonna hold up a lot better than the 3 that was previously there and the stationary bracket that I had. But you guys got to check out the spring back bracket here by Transducer Shield and Saver, along with that armor plate. As you can see, I'll show you the underneath view, or here, this is probably easier. I'll just push it up. You can see again where that armor plate sticks off the side and the back, and we've got full coverage there, and this awesome bracket. So you guys make sure you check them out. They come in a lot of different sizes for all your different types of transducers. They can pretty much mount on almost all of them, but you guys check them out. They'll be linked below or in this video, and pretty darn sweet. So add these to your boat. They've also got them where you can mount directly over here if that's where your transducers are. But that's awesome. I'm a big fan.